What's up everyone, this is Asad and it's my very first video tutorial about PHP and MySQL database. So let's get started. Here you can see my XAMPP is ready to go. I have already started the Apache module as well as the MySQL module. And the text editor I'm going to use the Sublime Text, and you guys can use any of the text editor. So now I'm going to create my first file and I'm going to save it as, I'm going to save it inside the XAMPP folder. Actually there is another folder inside the XAMPP and it's going to be the htdocs. I'm going to create a new folder over here, a separate folder for this separate tutorial. I'm going to name it tuts and the file name is going to be index.php. Yeah, let me mention over here what we are going to cover in this tutorial. Since this tutorial about PHP and MySQL, so I'll be discussing all of the basic operations that we perform on the database. Basic data operations, and the first one is going to be select, second one is update, third one is delete, and fourth one is insert. And now let's go ahead and start our work. So this is the first page, and this page will contain all of my markup. I'm going to write HTML and tab, and the HTML is ready for me. Meta charset. Meta charset is going to be UTF-8. It's a character encoding one must use for HTML. And I have to style this page, so that's why I'm going to link an external style sheet. I haven't created this style sheet yet, so I'll put this style sheet inside a public folder, public CSS and style.css. So in the body area I'm going to contain a new div, and this div is going to be the main wrapper. I'm going to give it an ID, and the ID is wrapper. This div is going to contain two more divs. The first div it's going to contain is the left panel, and the second one is going to be right section. Here I'm going to create some of the forms, and each form will have a separate box. I'm going to create a div for a box, and I'm going to give it a class. Here I'm using the class because I'm going to create three more boxes, and I'll be applying the same style on three of the other boxes as well, no, two of the other boxes as well. So class means you are going to style a group of elements, not one. The class is going to be the form wrapper, the first element is going to be the heading tag h3. So h3 is for update or insert, and then the form tag. In the opening tag in the form, I'm going to use an attribute, and it's going to be method. Method I'm using the post. It's an HTTP request. Action is going to be the page where this form is supposed to submit. Insert.php, and this form will contain two of the input fields. The first one is for first name. The type is text. Name is going to be fname. Placeholder is going to be the first name. So this first name, I'm talking about the placeholder. This one. This will be displayed to the user if user doesn't input anything into the input field. So this will be the by default text inside the input field. So as soon as the user clicks the input field, this will be vanished automatically, and user will input the actual data. The next input field is going to be for last name, and the third one is button. The type of this button is submit, value is going to be OK, and name is going to be submit. Here you can see I'm using name and the value for the button. So the reason I'm using it is because I'm going to track if the button was pressed or not. I'll be checking this into the HTTP request, the post request. If the button will be pressed, so I will receive the value OK onto the next page, and the page is going to be insert.php. So that's why I'm using value equals to OK. So I'm going to replicate this box, and this time it's for update. And the record will be updated, and the record will be updated on the base of its ID, and this input field is for the ID. Update, insert, and the next form is for delete, and I'm going to use ID over here. Only ID is required over here inside the delete form. The user will input the ID and the corresponding record will be deleted. Okay, so far so good. And the update page will be submitted. Update form will be submitted on update.php, and delete will be submitted delete.php. I'll try to keep this example as simple as I can so you guys can easily understand. I'm gonna write some text over here, right section, just to visualize this right section. I mean, if I don't if I don't write anything over here, so this div will disappear, the right section. So in order to make it visible, I have to put some data inside. So I am going to put temporarily right section over here, the text. So now let's check this out into the browser. As you can see, it looks like this. Good. So now let's create a style sheet. I like to put my style sheet inside a public folder and then inside the CSS folder. CSS. And the style sheet, I'm going to name it style.css. And the first rule is going to be for wrapper. Width is 95%. Margin 30 pixels auto. To put it into the center, border is 1 pixel solid, hash CC. It's going to be a light gray color. If you see into the browsers, it looks like this. Good. So now let's move to the left panel. The border is going to be same. Border 1 pixel solid, hash CC 6 times C's. And the width is 200 pixels. Padding is 10 pixels. Refresh. Now it looks like this. So inside the left panel, I'm going to put some padding, and I'm going to put padding on left, right and bottom. (10 pixels right, 10 pixels bottom, 10 pixels left. So let's check this out into the browser. Now it looks perfect. Left panel and then the right section. Border is going to be the same, 1 pixel solid, hash CC, and the width is going to be 750 pixels. Good. So I have to use float over here. The right section will be floated to the right side and the left will be floated to the left side. float left and float right. Perfect. Now everything is in place, and that's what we needed. $950. $1,024. $1,050. Perfect. I think a bug was at my feet. Okay. Let me check the duration of this video. Yeah, it's a 16 minutes video. So I'll continue this video into the next part. Take care.